Splatacle is a wacky 2D platformer for PC and Android. In Splatacle, the player can't use any of their limbs. Instead, they've got to make use of their giant tentacle appendage to grapple and bounce around the game's levels, dragging their useless body along as they go.
I am Shay-Lee Atkins, an artist. Limiting the scope to use only silhouettes, flat colors, and the universal unlit render pipeline meant that assets could be created quickly without the need for UV unwrapping or texturing. This meant we could focus on the look of the game holistically, rather than each individualized asset. I was responsible for the aquarium assets, some of the gym assets, and other miscellaneous assets. I was also responsible for majority of the sprites, including the character and the tentacle, UI, and tutorial elements. The major changes during development were to the art style of the game. We added gradients to the game rather than purely flat colors, and an outline shader to help objects stand out from the backgrounds. I am most proud of each art pass the rooms took, improving the game gradually over time, with the addition of narrative-only rooms, pipes and wires in the foreground, Easter eggs, and post-processing. I have learned how to layer a 2.5D environment effectively, using empty game objects as folders with precise coordinates.
Hi, I'm Chris Oddy, and I'm one of the artists working on Splatacle. My main responsibilities were the creation of particle systems, 3D background assets, and art passes. For our particles, clarity was our focus. Whether it was a goop splatter or a shower of sparks, we wanted the player to be able to recognize what each particle was at a glance, whilst keeping them simple enough as to not impact performance. To achieve this, we kept our particles as simple as possible, and used simple colors so as not to clash with the background, but still stand out enough for the player to recognize.
Hi, I'm Lachlan Smith, an artist. I primarily worked on the animations in this project, as well as helping with some environmental tasks such as particles and creating asset kits that we used around the level. We kept the animations simple, as the player would move too fast along the level to notice any more detailed animations. The enemies originally aimed at the player by blending between two animations, but we decided to go with the option of creating a bone in a weapon that will target the player.
I'm Jibrill, one of the designers and producers on Splatacle. I worked on the game's core mechanics, levels, and enemies, as well as did a lot of the project's scheduling and sound work. I've been with this project since its initial concept pitch, and as such, I've learned a lot about what it takes to bring a game from an idea to a fully fledged project. The project itself has changed a lot from my initial pitch, and we moved from a Lovecraftian body horror game to one that's more wacky and lighthearted, which I think is for the better. I'm really happy with how the team worked together on this project. Everyone really banded together, and we worked hard to pull each other up throughout all of production.
Hi, I'm Rhys. I designed levels and oversaw QA on Splatacle. Initially, I created many of the early levels with the focus of teaching the player the various mechanics required throughout the game. As production progressed, I used user feedback to iterate on design of the levels to increase fun, flow, and functionality, leading to many changes, some drastic and some quite subtle. I'm proud of the team for creating smart workflows that allowed rapid development as multiple members worked on the same sections of the project at once. I'm particularly happy with what I learned about the QA process, as well as my integration of standard bug reporting into our project management software to allow easy prioritization, tracking, and resolution of bugs. Our decisions were primarily guided by two design pillars, light-hearted wacky science and mobile-oriented gameplay. With these common goals in the forefront of everyone's minds, our decision-making process was often without trouble, which allowed the team to spend more time exploring, implementing, and refining ideas.
Hello, I'm Noah, one of the designers for Splatacle. I worked on mechanics, environmental hazards, a few of the levels plus revising them, rough UI drafts, a splash screen, and also an outline shader for the game. Throughout the project, the game went through many changes, some much more dramatic than others. A lot of these changes were made due to various feedback we received from teachers and playtesters, while some were due to the team's own thoughts on how to improve the game. I'm most proud of the guides mechanic I designed. It ended up being really fun, working and looking great thanks to the programmers and artists. I found it especially fun in the observation hall and the last level. Throughout this project, I learned how to make an orthographic view game using 2D and 3D assets, and how to properly structure them in layers to give them the illusion they are all on one layer, as well as learning how to make new uses of Hack and Plan to better organize my projects, and also how to go from a small idea into a fully fledged game.
Hi, I'm Ben. I worked on Gameflow, the AI, mobile controls, as well as a few other small systems. My biggest motive for developing systems the way I did can be boiled down to optimization for the Android build. I'm most proud of the work I did on the Game State Manager script.
I am Jace, and I am a programmer. I was in charge of the player ragdoll, the tentacle, player health, and grabbing and throwing objects. I am the most proud of the tentacle, and the tentacle has taught me a lot about how to interact with 2D environments and 2D physics.